This is Patrick Mahoney. Getting to know Patrick. He is new to Owners Club this year. This is an Owners Club exclusive podcast. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I'm doing well. I usually like to start with finding out what time zone you're in.
Yeah, no, I love it. I am in the lovely Pacific Standard time zone. I'm in Northern California.
Tell us a little bit about you. Who is
Yeah,
Patrick Mahoney?
he is not Patrick Mahomes. Very similar last names if you're a football fan, but I did not make it as the star quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. A couple letters off, but Patrick Mahoney, a better version in my opinion. Local to Santa Rosa, California, Northern California. I was born and raised here. Come from a big family. I have four siblings, four brothers. So my parents raised five boys, all within 7 years of each other. And we grew up on property. So we had a farm and goats and chickens and horses and cows and stuff like that. Um, and I grew up in a pretty traditional family where my dad was a union worker and my mom was a nurse, and they really stressed the importance of joining a good trade, construction trade, or going to college. And I chose to go to college. I chose to go the college route, and the rest of my siblings decided to go to join the trade. And so I was kind of like the oddball out in my family. And so I decided to go to college and I studied engineering. I decided that I wanted to uh, challenge myself to one of the hardest degrees that I think I could get, and it was between three different degrees. It was medical school, engineering school, or law school. And I didn't have a financial backing, so I didn't have any financial support. So medical school was kind of out of the table, and I'm not smart enough to be a lawyer. So engineering it was. So I ended up going and paying my way through college and getting an engineering degree, mechanical. And shortly after, I got picked up by a utility company here in California and started working there ever since. I've always been kind of a person that can't sit still. So I love to do things and I love to expand my, and I love to just continue to grow. And I was doing a lot of like trading in the stock market. And then I ended up reading Robert Kiyosaki's book on it was the first actually book that I read on personal development. And I read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which kind of kickstarted me into thinking about real estate. And so naturally, after reading that, I thought, well, I'm going to get my real estate license. And so when I got my real estate license, started doing traditional real estate, realized how not easy it was when, starting out with doing traditional real estate with no, a lot of the brokers around here wanted you to work really hard for not a lot of pay to learn the ropes. And so I didn't want to leave my higher paying job to go work full time for a brokerage. And so right about the same time, about 2.5 years ago, I saw a YouTube ad for Pace on the Gator method, and immediately was like, "What is this? Like, is this real? Can I really make money using somebody else's money without having to be involved in a real estate deal, or like without having to fix and flip or buying real estate?" And so it was a funny story. I was actually on my bachelor party when I saw that YouTube ad, and I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? It's only, whatever the cost was. I won't tell my wife. It is what it is. If it's something dumb, like whatever, it's just money I lost. It is what it is. So I ended up joining, and I was like mind blown, immediately mind blown. The amount of education I learned in such a short period of time quadrupled the amount of education I learned going through 8 years of college. It was like insane about business, about life, about how money works, how the economy works, how the top 1% are thinking, and just how to be an entrepreneur. And so that waterfalled me into joining Sub Two, which was also about 2.5 years ago. And then I missed Squad Up in 2024, which it was my 1 year wedding anniversary, and I didn't want to be like, "Hey, honey, you want to go to a 3-day convention?" So I didn't sign up for Owners Club that year, but I did join this year. What I've been doing in sub two is, because I'm an agent, I was doing a lot of direct to agent wholesaling, um, with the intent of purchasing properties creatively. So my goal was picking up properties creatively. I wanted to buy and hold. I want the generational wealth. That's why I got into real estate, was, the wealth that you build through real estate over time. However, I found most of the deals that I were coming across didn't really fit my buy box, so I just started wholesaling them. And then since then, I kind of moved into more local wholesaling with pre foreclosures in my area, Northern California. So Sacramento down to the Bay Area and then out towards closer to me. And I've been doing a lot of door knocking with a team, and cold calling and text messaging and stuff like that. So we're doing quite a bit of volume in the pre foreclosure and foreclosure space. However, now, and you and I have talked about this, is I want to transition. I when I joined Owners Club, I had this intent of trying to really figure out what I want and get really clear with my goals, because I'm not where I want to be. I want to expand and I want to grow more. And so part of the reason why I joined Owners Club was to get clarity on my goals and on my Mount Everest and why I'm even here in the first place, and try to really understand my why I desire more, like my entire life, of like why I've just have this feeling that I've made for more, that I'm supposed to be doing something for this world, but I just can't figure it out yet. And so part of the reason, like I said, I joined Owners Club was to get a better understanding of that. And so this last couple months, I've really decided that I want to move back into growing my portfolio so that I can help people with affordable housing. And so that's when, we started talking about multifamily. So I really want to get into multifamily and mobile home parks, and RV parks are another interest of mine. Um, but I'm moving towards investing in mobile home parks and RV parks. So
How could someone bring value to you? If
yeah,
someone saw this video and said, hey, Patrick's really someone I want to work with, it really resonates with me. What does that look like to collaborate?
yeah. So I love the question. So currently I am still growing my portfolio of single family homes. I do sober living homes, which is a form of co-living. And I will also do a traditional co-living. So I'm always looking for deals that meet a co-living criteria. Your typical 3 bedroom, 2 bath or more, 18 to 2,000 square foot or more, no HOA, close to public transportation. So I'm always looking for properties that meet that criteria. And then in the multifamily space, something that one of my limiting beliefs that I'm working on is I fear the operations side of multifamily. And what I mean by that is I'm a very talkative person. I love to meet people. I love to talk to people. I love to negotiate with people. And I love to underwrite numbers. I love to understand a project. One thing that scares me is the what's next. So I get a contract signed and I buy this multifamily. What scares me is the what's next, the getting the contractors, the unit turnovers, the raising rents, the figuring out management, all of that stuff, doing a cost segregation, handling all the bookkeeping, all of the what's next stuff is what scares me. So what I'm looking for is for partners or people that have experience or want to get the experience or enjoy that type of stuff, that want to collaborate and want to own some of these larger assets to provide quality housing to people, and affordable housing to people that enjoy that next portion, that maybe don't enjoy calling brokers or talking with sellers or negotiating or underwriting for that matter.
I hear you want an operator to partner with on some of these multifamilies.
Yep, exactly. And it's never fun when you have to do everything yourself, right? It's not as fun. It's
No.
like I was talking to somebody the other day. I don't know. Have you ever done or have you heard of a Tough Mudder event?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so have you heard of a Spartan race?
Yes.
Okay, so it's very similar to a Spartan race where it's like you do a 10K run or a 15K, but there's a bunch of obstacles. Well, a Tough Mudder is a 10K or 15K with a bunch of mud pit obstacles. So they literally dig like a big trench of mud and water, and they put barbed wire, and you have to like army crawl through the mud. And it's terrible. Like, who would ever want to sign up for that, right? It's like,
Right.
why would you want to intentionally do that? The water's cold, you get up out of the mud pit and you're literally covered in mud. But when you're doing it with a bunch of people and you're all laughing, you're all having fun. And I mean, it sucks. You're literally covered head to toe in freezing cold mud, but it is really fun when you're doing it with a group of people. And so I was comparing that to, real estate is it's not as fun when you're doing it by yourself, when you're
Yeah.
stressed or when you're trying to figure things out, or it's really stressful. But when you're doing it with a bunch of people, it can be fun, and you build those relationships and you grow with people. And so that's kind of what, another
You want
piece.
someone to crawl through the mud with you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, what areas are you looking for multifamily? Do you have any particular
Yeah,
states?
yeah, I'm really searching in. I love Montana. I love Wyoming. I love Idaho. So those are kind of states that I'm always looking for. I'm not opposed to places like Washington and Oregon. California, not so much, even though I live here, but really the Midwest and the Sun Belt states. So, the Southeast, Arizona, Texas, and then not super big on like Louisiana, Alabama, or Florida, but Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, those areas, Tennessee. I love Tennessee. And then the Midwest. So your typical, your Nebraska, Indiana, Kentucky, Kansas, those.
And what is the best way to contact you? How do you like to receive new inquiries? Would that be an email, a text? Do you have a website they should go to?
I do, yeah, I do. It's redwood-realestate.com is my real estate website. I'm in the process of creating a brand, my own brand, my personal brand, I guess. But also Instagram, Patrick Mahoney underscore REI, and then just my cell phone. You text me, call me. I'm getting better though. Pace told us to not disrupt your day and to plan things on your calendar. So I'm trying to get better at not taking impulse calls or text messages are fine, but I'm trying to get better at time blocking. So I also have a blink card that people could reach out to get on my Calendly.
I'll put that in our show notes here as well. And I'll just mention to everybody, please subscribe to this channel, hit a like, give Patrick some kudos in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time today, Patrick.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you in Monterey soon.
Likewise.